We got some hot, sweaty, sticky girls, some boys singing about Songbird and something called a klaxon. But what is it? It is time for a July 2024 K-pop pop-off. And this month we are joined by David Lim of Right Back At Ya podcast.
Yes, welcome, David, to CCTV.
Oh, wow. Thanks, guys, for having me. This is like such a big deal. Well, first of all, I don't get to talk about K-pop on our podcast. So this is like my solo project that I didn't tell Joel about. And he's just going to find out when it drops. Okay.
Oh, no.
We're doing a Jerry Halliwell.
Uh-oh.
I'm kidding. I told him yesterday we had drinks. He was like, what was an I asked? I was like, next time.
Well, you have actually shown a lot of interest in K-pop. And I think professionally, you've also worked with some K-pop artists as well. So I just knew you had some interest in it. Does Joel listen to K-pop?
Yeah,
Because we'll have him
Joel.
on next.
Yeah. We both actually love K-pop.
Oh,
I think we kind of came in at different generations.
okay.
Ooh, perspectives, okay.
It is. It's different. And he likes different girl groups to me. I was raised on 21 and Wonder Girls.
Come on,
That's
man.
So, you know, that's where my beginnings were. And it kind of just went from there. And I've always loved the girl group. So I'm really happy that, we've got something to talk about today.
Oh, yes,
All right,
totally.
Joel, we got you. You'll be on next.
Next time, okay?
Yeah.
He's going to watch this and he'll be like,
Sell it. No, it's okay.
if you're ever doing a Jessica Simpson episode, he's ready.
Oh.
Oh.
I know you guys did one.
We just did a public affair on our 2000s pop music podcast. So we're keeping it focused on that decade for sure. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be such an exciting episode. So everyone, if you are new to CCTV and our pop-up episodes, every month we put up polls on our Patreon and Twitter at CCTV Pops on all the social medias. And you get to vote for 3 of K-pop's biggest releases of the month to battle it out in our song, video, and performance rounds. And Patreon members get priority choice. So make sure to join us at patreon.com/CCTV Pops. And by the way, we do have a free tier, So definitely come hang out with us, okay? And we want to say thank you to our producers, Emily, George, Lily, Louie, and Juliet.
Yes. All right. So let's get into it. Reminder, this is meant for pure fun. Please don't take it too seriously. Join in. Let us know your honest opinions of these songs because this month you voted for Kiss of Life's Sticky, NCT WISH, Songbird, and I-DLE's Klaxon. So let's get ready to rumble.
Round 1.
Up first, we have Player 1, Kiss of Life with Sticky. And this was done by Kim Jin-sol, Strawberry Banana Club, Ayushai, Joe, Mia, and Gemma.
That's right.
All right.
Yes. David, why don't you kick us off? Let's talk about the
Yeah.
song first. So that's the production, the vocals, the hooks. What do you think of Sticky?
Do you know what? I have a question. What do you think Sticky is about? Because I'm like,
Honey.
I needed to watch the choreo. I needed to get the gist of it because I was like, what is Sticky? I mean, are we talking about fruit? Are we talking about dessert?
Oh.
I think, though, what I really love about this is how immediate that chorus is. Like, it lets you know how long before we fall in love. Like, it sets the tone straight away.
Yeah.
I love it when songs do that because you're like, okay, now I know which playlist this needs to go on. And when am I listening to this? Like, let me know up front so I know how to mentally prepare in case you're not going in with a video. So, yeah.
Do you like the song?
I like it, but it's not the kind of Kiss of Life that I was maybe expecting. Listen, guys, I'm new to Kiss of Life. You know, I'm very basic. I love Midas Touch. I like the Natty solo. So I like a bit of R&B. And this is giving Featherlight tropical pop of about 7 or 8 years ago. And sometimes that's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's okay.
Oh.
Nice. Okay.
I'm so glad you're here.
How's it going to come for me?
No. Definitely. Yes. Definitely more chill, tropical summer vibes here. I agree with you. It does give like a Sistar track, maybe from like 10 years ago, or maybe even like Little Mix, like from 5-ish years ago, maybe. I do love both those groups, though, so I'm not mad at the song.
Right.
So, yeah. I think production-wise, though, I think it's nice. The percussion is very light. You know, it's a good pool song. Would I really listen to it otherwise, though? Maybe not. But vocal production is great. They sound very warm. There's a softness. There's a roundness. There's some nice backing vocals. And it's still sexy. So still has that Kiss of Life, like, kind of area that they've kind of taken at this point. So, yeah, nice pool song. I'll give it that.
Nice pool song. Those are hilarious. I agree. I give pool, rooftop, all that. And I have Sistar in my notes as well. I think for this song, David, what you were saying about what's the stickiness, I think is encompassing all of the stickiness of summer. So the question was right. What is getting sticky? Is it us? Is it the fruit? Is it just because they're hot? And so I think your question was perfect. Like, what exactly are we talking about? And I think that cheekiness is kind of what attracted me to the song, because I was like, what y'all know about stickiness? So when I heard the song, I was like, ooh, Tyla has a chokehold on the pop girlies. Like, years ago, when the Girl Crush concept came around, Ariana Grande had her foot on everyone's necks with 7 Ring. And then Water came out last summer, and it's still kind of making its way through K-pop, because now they're in their summer festivals and getting into their whole thing. I know Kiss of Life performed at Waterbomb, so it was just kind of going into that whole shake your body, move your body, let's be a little smexy. I think my favorite parts are like Julie's whispery rap, because Bora would have like kind of attacked it a little bit more cutesy and not been so seductive with it. The chorus is really romantic and sweet, and like it makes me, of course, the bridge I think is one of my favorite parts, because like, you know, you think of a hot day and like you meet someone, like maybe you see someone and you're kind of like looking at you like, ooh, boo, yeah. You get to that evening lull where it gets a little bit cooler. That's what that bridge felt like, and I think that's like one of my favorite sections. And then that gang chorus at the end just feels even more full. So for it to be a really simple kind of chorus, I appreciate that there is some type of energy to kind of leave us off with, because you know, you're at the end of the night, the fireworks are going, and like maybe you're a little tipsy. So I definitely appreciate everything that comes into the concept of the song. I wouldn't say it's their strongest song, but it's a stronger song for the summer that has come out, because I don't have a K-pop summer anthem yet, and this one was kind of like giving me a little bit of energy. I was like, thank you, we need something, because Sistar for a minute was like really claiming it. Twice keeps kind of flirting with it. Red Velvet gets played left and right. If Sticky is just a kind of an example of what's to come, I'm excited, but I'm not like, oh yeah, new summer queens. Not yet. I wouldn't say that.
Yes. Nice. All right, moving on to player 2. We have NCT WISH with Songbird, and this was done by Honey Noise and Brown Panda. So we've done NCT WISH already on the show. I do want to note, yes, the Japanese version actually came out at the end of June, but the Korean one came out the 1st of July. So it was included in the polls here before anyone calls for me for that. But anyway, this is a fun one. It's giving kind of Max Martin at times, because you have that very 90s distorted guitar riff strum, that very kind of strong thing there. And so I appreciate that. Then you get to the bridge and it goes into this really warm and melodic kind of moment with all the harmonies. And then I think the chorus might actually be my least favorite part of the song. Like, it just doesn't really do anything for me melodically. It's not very memorable. Like, I can't even really sing it back to you right now, but I remember the verses and the bridge. So I don't love that. There is a crazy run at the end of the first chorus, which I would like.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. that SM signature R&B vocal training.
Needed to know who was that, because when you're watching the performances, you're like, which one of you did that? And they're all sort of doing it in unison. I'm like,
oh yeah,
raise your hand. We need to, we want to give credit where credit is due.
Yes.
That's right. So yeah, I enjoy it. You know, it's traditional pop structure, but has a very SM, NCT feel with the kind of Frankensteining of it. I'm still not fully convinced with NCT WISH, or like whether they're really necessary in the world of NCT, especially now that we have Rise kind of outside of that as well, who I love. So I like it, but I don't know. What do you think, Chantal?
Dude, you're so real for that, because I was thinking that too. I literally have in my notes, like, I just feel so bad that they aren't able to get a full spotlight, because the market is so saturated. You know, and now Rise, you had NCT that was focusing, well, the original NCT units, focusing so much on rap that now Rise is just singing with an occasional rap. Wish is doing that as well, but it's just like, oh no, they beat you to the punch. Yeah, I liked this song. Like, I had not heard it. Sorry, y'all. I had not heard it until we were like getting ready for the episode. And just like with their first song, Wish, I was like, hang on, this is actually a good song. And unfortunately, because they are newer, because they are younger, I don't think anyone really was like giving it, they were paying it dust a little bit, because I didn't even know. The little run, the melisma at the end, like you said, David, like who, where? I want to be able to listen to this song and enjoy it without having to watch a video. And this is the song throughout these. I was like, oh yeah. Oh, there's so much to really look for and listen to. The production on this is so full. I love that spaceship into the beginning with the guitars. Like, it was a really fun switch up. Like, whatever goes on at these SM cams, these writers are so creative, because I wouldn't think like spaceship, okay, give us guitars. Okay, harmonies in the pre-hook that are so beautifully crafted. I would say with this song, because it is an SM baby, an SM camp baby, the complexity of the music almost, I don't say outshines, but it's bigger than what NCT WISH is, because they're so young, but they have all these complex and nuanced sounds in this song that I wouldn't say they're not ready for, but I don't think was appreciated, because it is so full. It is so like, who did that and what was that? And oh my gosh, I want more of it. But they're not able to give more because they just started. No one's checking for them. Like, honestly, the chorus for me, although like you said, like melodically wasn't much, I agree. But I think the mixing of it, I feel like was like, oh yeah, classic SM, thank you. So it gives me hope for this group. I think if they promote it more in Japan, for sure, I think they'll probably get a lot of love. The same with Wavy in China. But yeah, with K-pop right now, with Wish, I don't know. And I feel so bad for them because of that. But yeah, I think the bridge is also my favorite part. That chanting section was a little like, ugh. But then that halftime breakdown, I love songs that do what a band would do live. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, producers. So yeah, I think this song has more like tension and catharsis and throughout our like selection. But unfortunately, I'm not sure if it's like strong enough to like win yet. But we'll see. But yeah, this one was interesting.
I think what really hit me with this one was the harmonies. Like, I had no idea, which is so interesting that you were saying before, you're like, okay, maybe sometimes the production is overshadowing or it's a little too overwhelming for maybe their potential. But I actually thought the parts that are meant to be highlighted, the harmonies, the kind of synergy, they lived up to it. You know, they filled these boots for this song. I mean, I'm not saying it's like compared to, say, Rise's. I don't know. I love so many of Rise's songs. I love Impossible. I love Honestly.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it One Kiss? The really big, like, fan song that they have.
Fan song.
It's a fan song, isn't it?
Yeah.
With a really big chorus. So
yes.
Yeah,
I think I would have preferred something like that with like a big chorus. But like you said, you know, I think the chorus is actually the weakest part.
Yeah.
The opening verse, that kind of Justin Timberlake style guitars, it was giving me throwback to Pharrell production, 2000, 2001. I love those elements all coming together. And I want to know, and this hasn't been like credited properly, but I want to know how and where Boa comes into this. Because she is their producer, right? So I'm like, is she in the studio? Is she like co-writing? Is she co-producing under a different name? Who the hell is Brown Panda? Who is Honey Noise? I did a little Google before. I was like, oh, that's not Boa. Can the real Boa show up?
Ooh, valid point.
Maybe she's doing it as a pseudonym. Yeah.
Maybe. She's also involved with Rise as well, isn't she?
No, I feel like she's involved
with NCT WISH.
Oh. Yeah. Which I think is perfect because she debuted as a teenager and straight away went to Japan.
That's true.
So who else is going to understand that better than her? And I don't know, I just kept, every time I look at the choreography and the presentation, and I'm just like, okay, I want to know how involved she is. Like, I would love a documentary with her and the boys and just to kind of see that relationship. That's what I'm here for.
Valid. What song was it in with Espa that she worked on? Because I think she was there just doing like vocal production, maybe. Or like, oh my God, I forgot what song it was, but they filmed it. So maybe we'll get something like that, or maybe it's already come out. But yeah, you're right. She's kind of been doing this little like, I'm watching, I got you, sing it like this, or do it like this. This is great. Like, I don't know how, maybe like a Robin Anton kind of feel where it's like, I'm watching everything.
Creative director. Okay, so player 3, we have I-DLE with Klaxon, and this was done by Jeon So-yeon of I-DLE, Pop Time, I-DLE, and Likey.
Yay!
Chantel.
Yay! The same 4 or 5 people that we've seen on these singles, and at this point, I'm not sure if I'm really feeling it. Now I've seen I-DLE twice now this year. Once in the wintertime, and then another time at Head in the Clouds Festival. And I think the girls are getting to this point where it's like, I'm not saying they're tired because they're tired of music, but there's just overall this exhaustion going on. Something about this felt a little anemic for me in terms of, I guess, I don't want to say vocal production, but I think maybe it's that. First of all, just to kind of just jump backwards a little bit, the title Klaxon is interesting because, when I was learning how to songwrite like better than I did like how many years ago when I was learning, the whole thing was come up with a title that's really good, like something that's really good for SEO, something that no one else has. No one's gonna have Klaxon. It is
not the prettiest word.
No, Miss Klaxon if you're nasty. It's just not it's not my favorite word, but it is eye-catching, and it is like an old-timey horn for automobiles. So like, yeah, sure. Which kind of fits in with that honk, 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 honk section of the chorus. It's interesting because it had some potential to me because I listened to it. I was like, this is light and bright. It's not super intense where they're telling someone to F off as they have in the past, like 3 singles. You know what I'm saying? Or like, I'm the best girl ever. But yeah, I mean, I like the bass line of the verse and the call and response. The pre-hook, the pre-chorus is full of that doo-wop inspired piano. So I was like, thinking that the song was building to more, and I was like, give me something. And then I love you, baby, and I was like, dang it. At this point, I need something more than just the here's your part, here's your part, here's your part. I need harmonies from this group at this point because they all can sing. So-yeon proved it with Super Lady. She can hit notes. So why not get her on the top harmony? Why not get So-yeon in the melody? Why not get Yuki at the bottom? At least give me 3 part. I'm not asking for 4 part harmony. I'm like, for 5, just give me something because they all can sing.
Start somewhere.
Come on. Yeah. Start somewhere. Like, this is your note. Just give me something like that. But yeah, I mean, the chorus is where it falls super flat for me. The song just overall is not terrible. The bridge is okay. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's something about it just reminds me of a Disney, like a DC original musical. Like High School Musical, like a Sharpay song, or like a sorry. Listen, I'm also Neverland, so don't come for me, y'all, or do whatever. Drop in the comments though. But yeah, I just felt like, oh my gosh, this could have been something. They're at this level now where it's like they could expand upon their sound, and this is a little too safe, a little too simple, and it's just missing something special other than the strange title.
I find it so interesting that you mentioned doo-wop and also that bass line, because that's the first thing that came to me. And as soon as the first verse was going, it was giving me, do you remember that song by Lehigh, 1, 2, 3, 4?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I was like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I was like, it's giving that similar hop.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I love that this is super playful. Mm-hmm. I love a summery, funky production. That is the brief.
Yeah.
But you think about the tradition they've had with great summery tunes. La Ta Ta, that tropical house vibe, which still, by the way, sounds really good to this day. I think that production has stood the test of time. And Señorita, the Latin pop flavor, again.
Yeah.
There was always a little bit of spiciness. And this one, you said anemic. I was like, when we got to the chorus, I was like, potentially a little reductive, maybe. But you got to take it in with the choreo and the joyfulness of the performance, because that's where you're like, okay, I get what you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's valid.
I feel like they have a very defined sound, which is great because, again, you mentioned the saturation earlier, so it's good, to have a defined sound. But I agree with you in the sense that there just hasn't been any artistic growth either. So each time they come out with a single, like, I'm not excited about it. Like, I kind of already know what it's going to sound like a lot of the time. I don't know. I'm just like not that interested in them anymore, unfortunately. I guess this one's like a little less fierce than the last few singles, so it allows them to be a little cuter, even though there's still like a sassiness to it. And so, yeah, I agree with you guys. Like, I get what they're going for. I appreciate the kind of Motown-y influence there. I will say the honk, 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 that word is also not pretty. And they're also singing it in this like nasally belt. And I'm just like, this is not a nice sound.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if it would have been better if they would have used like,
beep,
some type of something or like something like a Korean
An actual horn sound. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are some car honks, in the instrumental. So at least those are there. I do appreciate the Spice Girls wannabe shout out as well.
Yes.
So there's that.
Yes.
So yeah, just I kind of feel the same way about this one that I do with the other two. I won't really be putting these on any playlists.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say the same as well. And the thing about the Klaxon song and Kiss of Life song is that I don't think the production has been updated from when it was written. And I don't think they were written recently.
Yes.
That's the thing, you're saying before Tyler being the reference for summer, and I'm getting that in the choreography and performance, but I was like, where is that sound of the summer then in 2024? Because these sound like they've been sitting in GarageBand for a bit. It might not be the current hard drive. It might have been one from the bottom drawer that got brought up and reconnected. But it's still lots of fun. It's still so much fun. But I was just thinking, like, what year are we in?
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And that leads us perfectly, David, because we're at the end of round one, the song. So what wins for you out of these three?
Oh, gosh, I'm going first?
Yeah. See, that's why I hate doing it.
Okay. Song. We're talking song.
Yes, the song only.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not NCT WISH. Is it Sticky? Am I giving it to Sticky? Because that's not what I wrote down.
Oh,
I'm going to give it to Sticky. I'm going to give it to Sticky.
Okay.
Yeah. I enjoyed the vocals. I think the vocals sold it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I will agree with you. Sticky is my choice as well. Even though it does sound mildly derivative, I think the vocals, like we discussed, is just quality. So yeah.
I am on the same page. I just think melodically it's the best of the three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sticky wins.
Yes.
Round 2.
Moving on to round 2, which is about the music video. So going back now to Kiss of Life's Sticky. So I will go first this time. First off, what city was this? I didn't have time to look it up.
Oh, shoot. Me either, but yeah.
I loved this video. I'm a fan of these kind of one-shot situations. And I think we mentioned in the last one, because we saw another one that was like that, we were like, there's Janet, it's Rock With You. That's kind of
Cheryl,
one that I
Cheryl.
point to. Yes. And then, of course, Wannabe by the Spice Girls. So I just have a connection to these one-take situations. Obviously, this was not actually one take, but they did a great job with the edit.
Yes.
But they've been killing it with their visuals. Like, the four of them are such good performers, even in kind of the hecticness of all these dancers coming in and out. I was watching the four of them pretty much the whole time. And they really used each location well. Also, they had their foot on the fountain. They got in the fountain, they went against the wall, they got on the tables, they got on the chairs. Like, they did a really good job blocking the whole thing, and it felt very natural. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, there's a chair here, so I guess we need to use that. Like, it felt very planned. And there is a lot going on, but not too much, which has been an issue with a lot of K-pop stuff, I think. So yeah, I think it has a great story. I enjoyed it.
I mentioned also about how I like the one take esque-ness of it. It's almost seamless. I will say I feel so bad for the rap section because one of the dancers got stuck in her shirt. I was like, girl, hurry, take it off, take it off, take it off. And she ripped it just in time. But I'm like, why did y'all, I know y'all have so many takes. Why was that the take you used? I've been so annoyed, especially that was like her first booking or something. Like, I was so upset. I'm pretty sure it wasn't, but that was the only thing I saw that was like, oh snap, that could have been like not fun. The way they filmed this reminds me of like those dance movies from the early 2000s. Like, I like the overall feel. It didn't feel like an Old Navy commercial, thankfully, because sometimes with these outdoor, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you're outside and you're dancing, you're like, oh my God, please, oh gosh. It didn't look like they were trying to sell me clothes. I mean, in fact, they were taking the clothes off. So I appreciate that. The girls, like you said, worked the camera really well. I think my favorite was the indoor theater scene. That was so good. The way the guys carried Nati and she was like almost looking like a wave. I was like, bone apple teeth, gorgeousness. I also mentioned that the girls not being overwhelmed by the dancers is so key because we just talked about Nayeon in our last pop-off and she was getting swallowed by her dancers. So I was just like, oh my God, girl, no. Because I love Nayeon. But these girls, they stand out. And everyone was dressed really similarly. So it's very tough for them not to get lost. This reminds me of Super Shy, but not in like a super copy way. It's just one of those things where it's like you're outside, you would use the space really well. And I enjoyed it. I think I really like the ending the most because they have a lore that is not mystical. They just have a lore where it's like, remember who you were in the past, remember where you came from. Because there's a sugarcoat Nati at the end that all the girls are looking at. And I'm like, ooh, what does that mean? So it keeps me curious for sure. So I think overall it's not too deep, but it's also not super shallow where you're like, this is a forgettable video. So shout out to the director for sure.
All right.
Thank you for explaining that because I was going to be like, who's that girl? So
that's your
that
girl.
makes sense just to kind of create that connectivity with that narrative. I mean, just like you guys, I love a kind of fluid one-take style video. Shout out to whoever it was that was in charge of getting permits because you got to film in a fountain, health and safety, people slipping. What kind of shoes are you wearing in there?
Yeah.
You got to make full use of the theater. I love the theater scene as well because I'm watching this full glare of sunlight outside. I'm thinking, thank God there's a break for you to go inside, enjoy the air conditioning.
Yeah.
Press up against the wall, do that thing. I love that move of them like sliding up against the wall. I was like, okay, it's giving, Beautiful Liar, like that kind of throwback move. I loved it. I was like, if I were one of the girls, I'd be like, can I just stay in here for 2 more minutes? Before we have to go back outside.
Yes.
That opening shot with them going to the fountain and them not giving us the fountain shot, I thought was really clever because that's the obvious thing, right? Because I'm watching it, they skip past it. I'm like, that's a missed opportunity. Why are you not dancing in there? And then we get to the climax at the end. You're like, oh, okay, this is it. And I love the candidness of them just splashing water at the camera lens and it just being a little gritty and a little, we're not over rehearsing this. We're not giving you overly polished, unlike another video that we'll talk about in this episode. But I love the charm of that. We don't see that kind of on location spontaneity enough these days, I don't think.
Yes, good point. Also, I just looked it up. This was filmed in Warsaw, Poland.
Okay, we're going to
Poland.
Poland.
Make out what the writing was on the back in the lobby of the cinema.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Good spot. Whoever picked that spot out, shout out to you too. Shout out to the whole team who figured this out. Y'all did that.
Shout out to Poland. Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
Up next, we're back to NCT WISH with Songbird. All right, so I'll kick us off with this one. So the video for this one was so cute. I think whoever is picking and choosing what they're going to do for this group is doing a good job because I watched NCT Dream kind of go through the motions of them being in like a military and then doing their little hover cycle bull crap. And I was like, okay, they're kids. That makes sense. With this one, it's pretty much really simple. It's like a cute little delivery candy situation. You know, like it's very mystical with them flying through the clouds. It's simple in terms of like there's no crazy lore where it's like this one piece of candy is going to give someone a power. I'm talking about EXO. Talking about EXO with their flying and stuff like. There's nothing crazy about this. It's just kids delivering candy. You have your store workers, your back office, a Hansel and Gretel house kind of gingerbread moment. Your fulfillment. It was cute. I think the dance portion, the way it was filmed, is probably one of my favorites for this group. And I like the outdoor dance portion when they're in the field because it just felt really refreshing because you have them inside the box, on a green screen. You have them in everywhere except a real world because they're talking about Songbird, which we didn't really talk about the lyrics, but it was all like this, I'll come to you, I'll fly to you, our dreams come true. And then you watch this video, it's like Charlie in a chocolate factory, but like Amazon-ified. And then they finally go outside. I'm like, there's the Songbird moment where we're flying through the colors of the wind. That was really pretty and refreshing. And like I said, conceptually, I think the video is adorable. And I would say age appropriate because it wasn't too childish, but they are still pretty young. So it's like, let's just use those cute little faces. The guys didn't like overplay the faces. They kind of just had like, simple, oh, wow. And oh my gosh. And we're flying. Not like, oh my God. Oh, So I appreciate the I guess the balance of like super cutesy and then just normal boys just being like, we're in front of a green screen. They told us to act like this. So we're going to do the best we can. So overall, I like the video. I'm not sure if I like it as much as Sticky, but I think production quality, it didn't look super cheap because SM can't afford good CGI. And we always complain about crappy CGI on the show. I watched it and I was like, okay, the lights match the green screen editing. So it's really important. The props that they're holding doesn't look like, it's, coming onto their arms because someone didn't color something properly. Like little things like that really matter. And it helps me stay immersed in the whole concept. And I think that's what's important. Even if we don't like thematically align with what's being told in the story, is the story good? And I think, yeah, I would say.
Okay. David, what do you think?
First of all, guys, I watched the Japanese version after the Korean version. Yeah. And that was when I was like, okay, I really appreciate what's going on. Because the Japanese version is more narrative driven. It's got that long intro. The boys are like playing a board game and it kind of sets up what's going on, right? If I watched that first, it would have been like, great, love it, get it. So I'm trying to do it backwards in my research. And then I was like, genius, love it that the Korean version is giving you just the moves and it's giving you basically an alternate take of the same scenes. It's not trying to overly explain the narrative to you. So if you've not watched it, start with the Japanese version, then go to the Korean version. Also, the Japanese version is the one that you see the kid at the end pick up the candy that fell from the sky and put it in his mouth. That is not the message we want to be sending kids. It's not safe. Do not do that. Do not put things you don't know that may or may not be food in your mouth, especially if it's fallen out of the sky, delivered by some pop stars, especially that. Do not do
underage pop stars.
Word at that.
Yeah, exactly. But, that scene that you were saying about them dancing outside is also my favorite because while I love the gray uniform of them in like the delivery loading bay of their candy factory, when I first saw that, I was like, oh my God, come on, Girls Aloud. We're back in the garage. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh no, they're delivery boys. They're loading up boxes, doing all that. But I love the outdoor dance scene, Yeah. That one bloke with the bit of the chul, shout out to the stylist.
Oh,
who
yeah.
gave him that little bit of like, it's like a white tutu chul. It's just swishing. I was like, okay. Okay. I was like, great use of fabric. All right. I really enjoyed that. But once you kind of get this narrative of them fulfilling wishes, I assume that's what it is. The candy are wishes. Then I'm like, oh, that's really sweet and wholesome. Them flying through the sky in that lovely truck. I mean, which one of you is old enough to drive? That's the other question. We need to check ID. But I love the concept of it. And it's interesting because I don't think the word songbird appears early in the song, right? So you're kind of reminded of it around the bridge. And then you're like, oh, yes, that's what we're doing. And the bird, the paper cranes all kind of become a little bit more pronounced. but they're doing things with the choreography, which I'm sure we'll talk about the performance later, but that's what really sells Songbird. So
Yes.
overall, I think I do love this video, but once you watch those two side by side, you're like, oh, I love that. You're not just giving us dubbed versions, like, come on, give us different edits, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. I will say that's actually maybe my favorite part of NCT Wish that they've been doing. So hopefully they continue this for sure. Because I was actually the same with you, because my first notes were just on the Korean one. And I also didn't fully understand what was going on, because I also was like, oh, they're in a service center for cars. And then now they're working in an office. And then now they're, I didn't like fully connect it yet, right?
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, I don't really understand what's going on. And so it took a few watches. And then, yes, when I went down a Reddit hole also about about what this was about. And then I was like, oh, okay, I get it. It's cute. That's cute. And yes, you were right. SM has, great production value. So this was very much up there. And their training, and I think we've said this before with other SM NACs, they're so good on camera.
Oh, yeah.
They're so good on camera. Yeah. Like it doesn't feel too forced. It feels very charismatic. I already am starting to recognize some of these boys, which is good. That's also rare in such a saturated market as well. So yeah, I really enjoy it. I will say it. I kind of love in some ways that you kind of have to watch both videos and kind of watch them a few times to fully get it. But at the same time, in this world that we are in right now, where attention span is so low, I think if you were a newer person just watching this, I don't know, the impact doesn't fully hit the first time. And so if you're trying to get new fans, I just don't know if that's the right way to go. But yeah, I appreciate it as someone who did watch it multiple times.
All right, moving on to our final player for this round, I-DLE with Klaxon. All right, David, what did you think of this video?
Oh my God, is this the best traffic stopping performance we've seen since Kylie's Red-Blooded Woman?
Oh.
I was thinking, I was like, oh, well, it's giving.
Okay, so no When I Grow Up then. No When I Grow Up?
I thought that too.
I did think about When I Grow Up too, but I was like, the girls are like interacting with other drivers and doing all that. So I was like, okay, maybe it's more. And also I have to say Kylie, 2000s Aussie legend. Like I have to give it to Kylie. That opening shot of Soyeon in the driving seat, one thought, booster seat.
So rude.
Did you not think it? I was like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not an automobile expert, but I'm sure.
So funny.
So I know where my arms would come up to in a car of that build and stature. And I know I would need a booster seat as well. So I looked at that. I was like, okay, we know what you're doing. You want to look good for the shot, but it just took me out for a minute. I was like, yeah, she's got a little elevation going on there, but which is fine. We all need it. We all need support in this world and in this life. I love the car chase in the desert with the guys.
Yeah.
And then do they drive off and the girls are just left there?
Yeah.
And they're just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what I would have loved in that moment? If their new BFF, Jennifer Lopez, turns up in a car. Hey, girls, want to ride? Wouldn't that be the best cameo? Just to be like, we get on your song, J-Lo. Return the favor. Come give us a lift.
She needs the help. It would have been great for her.
Great PR.
Yeah.
I would accept any help from Jennifer Lopez at any time.
No, she needs the help right now. Gen Z can't stand her. I love her, but yeah, that would have been great for both of them, actually. You're so funny.
Give her a call, guys. I mean, I think she's around. Yeah.
Yeah, the tour's canceled, so there you go.
No J-Lo slander. No J-Lo slander.
No, I love J-Lo.
I was ready to go to that tour.
Me too, dude. Man. Oh, God, bummer.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess this was great. This made me like the song more, for sure. Because, again, we've been saying this with the past few I-DLE songs that we've reviewed here. Their performance ability has grown so much. like all 5 of them. Like David, I don't know how much you got into them right at the start, but it was a slight struggle in the beginning on camera for them.
Okay.
But now they're feeling themselves and they're able to just have fun with it. Like all the stuff on the beach, you know, with the random guys, you know, that they would walk right past, or even they were just staring at them, like from the background as well.
Yeah.
I thought the gas station had some fun moments. And I also agree that little storyline with the car chase was really, really fun as well. So I just appreciated how light it was. They weren't trying too hard. They were just having fun with the concept. So yeah, no notes here, really. I think it matched the song perfectly.
Yes. I think with this video, whoever came with the concept was definitely thinking of all the girl groups and like female pop singers of yesteryear. Because that car chase, I immediately thought Janet Jackson's "You Want This," because I'm like, oh my gosh, that, or even Dream with he loves me, loves you not, excuse me. Like just having the Jeep in the desert, you're dancing in the desert. I was like, wow, you have the "When I Grow Up" moment. It kind of reminded me a little bit of a Step Up movie, but it's fine. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we have like 5 seconds of them in rain.
Yeah.
As well.
And I was just I was like, is
the rest of
Moose
it?
coming? Right.
Exactly.
Is Moose going to come out? Take a knee? Like,
It's like you've wasted all that hair and makeup. I hope it was at the end of the day and they thought, okay, maybe we'll do an alternate video where you're just dancing in the rain, and then it just maybe looked terrible on everyone, and they were like, nah.
No, because ballad, because that's literally like a quick thing. Rain is usually the crescendo of the video. But y'all went
Why
to the
throw that in the middle of... And where did all that rain go? It's like 2 seconds and we're back.
So I literally, this whole video, it also reminded me of Hot Summer when the girls were dancing in front of the fence, calling us sweaty foreigners, like things like that. I was like, oh my gosh, these are all of the imagery that I can remember from way back when, and I appreciate that for sure. The beach scene again, it just reminds me a little bit of High School Musical. It's not a bad thing. I love High School Musical or Teen Beach Movie. I'm a fan of those movies. But yeah, I think overall their influences were there, but it just had a refreshing take on the vixen concept. Instead of being like, we're so hot and we're so amazing, look at us, hoo-hoo, yeah. It was like, oh, sad, we just got played, didn't we? We got played. Yes. Like, I was like, even when they did like their social media adverts, if you will, they were dancing in front of the guys, and those guys could not be bothered. I was like, honey, good bark, wrong tree. But that was the whole thing. I was like, it's giving, but they're not taking. And I love that because, like you said, they're at this level where they don't have to do that, or, you know, they just are having fun. I appreciate
it's a song
that.
For girls.
It's for the girls, for sure.
It's for the girls, yeah.
For sure.
It may look like they're trying to pick up guys, but it's a girls' day out.
Yes. And it just kind of went mildly wrong with them trying to be flirty. It's like, why did you do that in the first place? You know, like, but yeah, I think it was really fun. I appreciate the whole concept for sure. And I love that they ended their frontier at Mount Hottie. So let's go, girls. Let's go.
Okay, that wraps up round 2. Okay.
Yeah.
So out of these, I mean, as we've said, I love actually all 3 of these videos, but if I had to watch one now, I would watch Sticky again. So that one wins for me.
Ooh. Okay, what about you, David? I'm not going second.
Are you changing the order?
I want to go.
I actually would watch NCT WISH's video again. Either of them, because I feel like there were just so many details in the props and the special effects that I'm just like, okay, let me see what else is going on here.
Ooh, look at you choosing the boy group.
I know. I got to give the boys some love. Yeah, they've worked hard. 2 videos.
Shout out to the editors. Oh, man. You know, this is difficult because mine is actually leaning toward the 2 girl groups for sure. And I had to change my mind a little bit. That's why I told David to go second. Confession. So I think for me, Klaxon, I think overall has the most fun, but I think cohesively speaking and just using what they had to make magic, Sticky takes it from.
Okay.
It's hard.
Wow, we were so close to having all 3 of them get chosen.
I know. Yeah, Klaxon was sucker for me, but I was just like, wait, hang on, to be real here.
Round 3.
Okay, well, we're on our third round now, which is about the performance and choreography. So, Chantel, kick us off, right? Yes. Yes, Chantel, kick us off with Kiss of Life. Sticky, what do you think?
I'm going to tell you why I'm laughing in a second. I hate this dance.
Oh.
I hate it so much. Okay, so here's the thing. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, they're copying Tyla. People are like, oh, Tyla didn't make up twerking. It's not that they're twerking just to shake their butts. There's a certain style of dance called Bacardi dancing. And Bacardi requires a lot of hip motion. And the way they are moving their butts on the rhythm fits that silhouette of Bacardi dancing. There's a lot more involved, obviously. But Tyla made the whole arm out, leg lean, you know, wait on the one leg twerk thing a thing. And unfortunately with this song, it's very tropical. It's leaning more toward Caribbean, not Afrobeats choreography. So I think in this sense, they could have had more grooves into it. Just as someone who has grown up doing all this stuff, it just feels a little bit more like trying to catch on a dance trend in the choruses as opposed to actually making a choreography that is good musicality. That's my opinion about it, because it's just like twerk, 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 stop, 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 shake, shake, twerk, twerk again. And I'm like, that is so awkward. It just feels like a very sharp period in the middle of a sentence that deserves a comma and then be punctuated with an exclamation point somewhere. Verse-wise, I think they did a good job of transitioning the music video choreography and then not throwing it away, but being like, hey, listen, we have to perform on stage. So I appreciate that. The dance as a whole isn't terrible, but when you get to that chorus, it just gets very cheesy to me, where it's like, instead of actually doing something that looks fluid, it just looks very stiff because the girls are not wearing loose clothing. So it just looks like they're popping their backs and like they can dance, but it just doesn't look, you know, cute. Even with like Touch My Body, when they did a little twerk thing, it was choreographed twerking. It looked stiff, and it's still cute, still memorable, but for me, not the right reasons. The girls can dance better than what they were given at certain points. But overall, I would say like, I'd give it like a B- in terms of performance. They definitely danced the crap at what they're given though. I will say that. Like, not a single member was like, oh, I'm not gonna hit this step. They look like they're synchronized. They're giving the same amount of energy. Like, of course you'll have Julie kind of giving eyes a little bit more, like Nati kind of, you know, smizing up the camera. But for the most part, their personalities are definitely seen throughout the choreography. They all get a moment to shine. But yeah, like I said, I think the weak points are I'm going to throw a Bacardi Tyla dance because it's K-pop and we kind of copy trends. You know what I'm saying? So aside from that, not bad. Sorry, I sounded so mean, but hey, it's the truth. That's how I feel.
All right, David, what do you think?
Do you know what? I think out of the two girl group performances that we have on this episode, this is my preferred. It's playful, it's sprightly, and I just feel their spirit just coming through. Like, all the girls are shining in this. And I know there's lots of bits and pieces, and I completely agree with what you're saying with the Tyla bits. The bit with them lifting the top and then just, actually taking the top off and then just throwing it, I was like, yes. Yeah. Yes. It worked in a video, saw them do it on stage. We definitely needed that. That bit of them kind of wiping the sweat across and then flicking it, that to me was like the signature move that was like, okay, now I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's a sticky summer. Yeah. And I don't know if this is in all the performances, but there was one that the male dancers were doing like a limbo bar where they're joining arms and the girls like do a limbo under. Yeah. And I was like, just gonna throw in a party trick like that, like midway through a performance, like you want to save your back, but you're gonna do all that Tyler Bacardi moves later again, so you don't want to arch it too much, health and safety.
So silly.
Yeah. But I saw them do that and I was like, oh, okay, so I appreciate a maximalist effort, and it feels like, I don't know, it was the right combination of showing off and showing out.
Oh, yes. Aside from the chorus, I agree. Like, they just, so good.
Okay, I think I'm kind of in between the two of you. First, I need to shout out Mingyu of 17 because the first time I actually saw the choreo was him doing it, and he looked really great. So I just needed to shout that out because that got my attention for sure. Anyway, okay, I think I say this a lot about K-pop choreo. The musicality just isn't there. Like, they're this is a chill summer bop, and the choreo is crazy. Like they're doing 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4. They're hitting all these beats that don't even exist in the song, you know? So like I feel the whole thing just needs to be dialed down like to 75%, maybe 60% of how chaotic the whole thing is. Because like even like the formations, they're changing formations every like 2 or 4 counts. And it's just a little crazy. I think it was much more effective in the music video because you had the different locations and the different props you were working with, and the dancers coming in and out worked with the kind of the chaos of it. But on stage, especially watching the dance practice, it's just it's crazy. Like me just imagining myself doing it, I was like, this block, even the blocking itself is already a lot. And so I don't know. I think it's fun overall. I agree with your comments about, you know, the actual style and stuff, maybe not actually even matching the song at all, but even just like just hitting what's in the song, I feel like it's not really like it's just more than it needs to be. Like they can do some simple grooves and stuff. Like even the stuff at the end when they are just all like doing body rolls and stuff, that's very effective. Yeah. So it's just more difficult than it needs to be. It's just chaotic. But they perform the crap out of it. But I'm just
it's so hard because like you want to like it because they are so good, but then you're getting choreography where like with Easy, it was not easy. It was like demo choreography that was just like, oh, let's keep it. So with them, it's just like we know they can dance, but y'all, Nati ain't gotta throw herself on the ground during her part. Like she can just nicely place. So yeah, well that's that.
Okay, yes. Moving on to NCT WISH's Songbird. Okay, David, what do you think?
I could watch these guys dance forever. Like I had no idea that they were actually this good already. And I watched the first single performance like when it came out, and I was like, okay. And then this one, because I was so like taken aback by the candy rush of this video, I wasn't really thinking about the choreo. Yeah. Apart from the dude with a tool, you know, shout out. But when you watch the performance, you're like, oh my God. That opening shot where they all parted and that one boy gets lifted up. Yeah. I was like, come on, Jesus. Come on, Lazarus. Like, you know, it was incredible. That blew my mind. And all the kind of arms laying out horizontally like a bird spreading its wings. Yeah. Oh, they really sold it. When I saw that, I was like, okay, this is what this song and this choreo is all about. And even when you're like watching the arm movements, the more fluid arm, it's kind of like replicating a bird's wings. Yeah. I was like, that is so clever because you've got all these sharp angular movements. Sorry, this is where we really need Joel, my co-host here, because he's the trained dancer. And I'm here like talking about bird wings, flapping. Sorry to NCT WISH's choreographer and Boa, sorry.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm just loving the way that ties together the arm movements. To me, that is the most satisfying part of seeing it all come together.
Ooh, yes. Yeah. I mentioned the musicality not being great for the last song, but the musicality for this one is so good. I mean, again, I know SM's going through some business issues at the moment, but creatively, I think they're on a roll right now. Like this year, SM has been killing it with everything. Watching them perform this made me like the song way more. And I would love to learn this. I don't know if I have time to, but I would love to learn it. Like this is very much my style. You feel kind of the 90s boy band kind of slickness of it and how they're hitting the guitar strums and things. But then it gets like, there's some softer kind of more contemporary moments too. And there are also some cuter moments, which is great because, you know, they are younger. And so the little like chest, like the little heart, the chest pops and stuff, like it's all very cute and it matches them and it matches the song well. And just some really cool staging as well, like a ton of different ripples. They use a lot of levels, just really, just good stage choreo.
I agree. David, don't feel bad about the bird wing thing because the chorus does include flapping, and swimming. And then I freaking love this because you use your hand to do a bird call. Some people use hands. So whoever did that, bone apple teeth. Okay. I love choreography like that because if you can figure out how to make it it's so intelligent. So yeah, I agree with both of you, what you're saying. There's a moment in the second verse where the guys slide and one of the members moves his fingers and the guys are still ticking as they're moving. I'm like, what the heck? So simple, but the texture of that was just, again, bon appetit. I'm going to just kind of just big up what y'all said. Loved it. I agree. Because this dance is so good. So good. And it's intricate to the point where it's like, where it needs to be. Like the chorus, I would say, I was like, okay, wait, hang on. Give me a second. I need time to like digest. But the verses, I sat there and I was like, okay, this is like actually like boy group choreography. Like it's someone's turn to sing and he's just standing there and just moving his hand. Wow. Oh, okay, it's this person's turn to sing and he's getting lifted up, or this person is just standing there and backing up, not doing a backflip or some other crazy hippity hopness. Super, super happy to watch this choreography. I appreciated the thought process between performance to dance and having to sing, because one day they will have to sing this live. You know what I'm saying? If they needed to, they could. It wouldn't be like we have to alter this whole choreography because someone tried to murder us in the practice room, you know? So yeah, shout out to your bird wings and your Flappy Bird comment, because it's true. Yeah, shout out to the choreographer. I wish I had looked it up at first, but so good. So good. I like this one.
Okay, so I-DLE Klaxon. This is very different from Kiss of Life, which was giving, you know, advanced class. This was, I-DLE was giving like maybe advanced beginner class, which I don't hate. It was like refreshing after kind of the last two, because I-DLE, they do actually sing live most of their performances. Yes. And having something a little easier does just give them an opportunity to just kind of perform and have fun with it, which again matches the song. But even though the actual choreography is much simpler, there's still a lot going on, like formation-wise and stuff. So it's still very entertaining. I think it's very effective. My favorite part's actually near the beginning when they all get on the floor. I think just like picture-wise, just very, very effective. I don't know if I love the like hula dance for the ooh. I mean, I guess it's memorable. But I don't know. I don't, and the honk, honk, honk. I mean, again, just like not the most creative, but sure, with those chest pops. So yeah, I think it's fine. Nothing about it makes you want to watch them perform it all the time, but I think I don't know, it's fine.
He's like, I'm man a few words. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Chris is a man of few words with this one. I don't blame you. I think with this choreography, like I've seen them a couple times now, and the girls can really perform, so I will definitely give them that. I feel like with this song and the choreography they were given as a whole, it started out pretty good, like them getting on the floor, like straight out the gate. I was like, honey, give me a lay down on the beach. Give me a fan. It was cute. You can sing to this. You can move your hands. Give me handography. I loved that. Even like when they kind of bopped their hip and they got through the pre-chorus, I was like, okay, we're still singing. We're still kind of just being really cutesy girl, like second gen girl group kind of movements. But then we get to this chorus. Oh my goodness. I will say, because the moves are almost so easy, I love you, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and hand. I saw some sloppiness, which is like how do you see that? But because it's so simple, if they don't articulate it and make it super sharp, give like exact energy in the wrist and in the fingertips, it can come across as almost like, this is my A count, you know? And then you get to the honk honk part, there's like honk honk, it's awkward. And they're stepping backward. And it's that Shuhwa's part too also. So she's kind of just like, you know? So it's things like that when I'm watching, I'm like, you guys are so beautiful. You're so talented. You just came from Super Lady, which was this epic moment of badassery. And now you're laid back. I totally get it. But it almost feels like they don't believe the chorus choreography themselves. Everything else I can see them doing because it's a little bit more full out in terms of bend over, reach over, hands, be a little bit more sexier. But when it comes to the chorus and them being cutesy, they are just, it's giving like, we feel too old for this. I guess this is cute. It's simple enough. Let me just do it. It doesn't feel like they're really like, I love this. Like, this is so cheesy. I'm going for it, you know? And that's what bothers me a little bit about it. Aside from that, I do appreciate the effort, I guess, that some of the members are trying to give. Like Minnie and Yuki, I can definitely see being like, okay, cute, kind of sexy. But everyone else is kind of like, okay. Soyeon's always going to do the most because she's her. But when you have, you know, what's her name, Miyeon and Shuhwa kind of in the middle of these very important parts, the choruses, it falls flat. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm echoing what you guys are saying. And also like, because I haven't watched their stage performances for the last few singles. So I'm just like processing what you guys are saying. So this is really helpful context for me because when I heard this song and I saw the choreo and I thought, okay, they want a summer bop that all the kids can do on TikTok.
Yeah.
All the Baby Shark audience is going to get on board. I really thought, and it's not, you know, it's not a condemnation. I thought it was a deliberate way of prioritizing accessibility. It's meant to be copied by people of all ages, all abilities, and it's not meant to be a big showcase of what they can do. It's more like, we want to do stuff that everyone can follow along to. So it's kind of giving me like early steps choreography, you know, when they would release the CD singles with like the dance steps in there. I feel like if we're in a CD single age, this would have the booklet rolling out. You got the girls doing 1, 2, da 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 da. And I, you know, you know, and that's not my favorite part either, the honk honk. You got to do it. What else are you going to do, Chris?
Yeah,
I
mean, that's
I guess.
And you can pop it. Honk, 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 honk. You know, that's just me. I choreograph.
That's me on a Friday night. Yes.
Yes. Ooh, good perspective. Wow. Huh. Oh, now that you've mentioned that, I'm not going to change my decision, but it's definitely given me a little bit more to think about. Like, okay, you know what? There's probably some validity to that. Like they probably were just like, let's just pop this out. Everyone could do it. Yeah.
Did you enjoy the performance though?
Yeah.
It's not like what you said. It's not something I'll rush and look up a live performance of. I've seen it now.
Yeah.
I can move on. Yes.
It's lovely. And I'm not a dancer, so I'm not going to learn it. So I'm not going to put it on to learn. I can do the Hong Kong bits. So yeah. Both versions.
Yeah. Come on, Friday night and Sunday morning. Let's get it. All right. So, did I go first? Oh, shoot. Okay. So the winner for me will be NCT WISH's Songbird choreography and performance. It's the most cohesive. It's the most musicality. I also would like to learn it. And I love the freaking bird call hands. I was sold.
I mean, I have to give it to NCT WISH because of all the complexities that we talked about. I was actually leaning more towards Kiss of Life, but now that you guys have contextualized it, it really wasn't off service to the song. It felt like more of a, we're trying to prove a point, which is great. We love a performance, but it has to work with a song. So that's why I'm leaning to NCT WISH.
Okay, yes, I will agree with both of you. I tend to lean towards the boy bands anyway, like dance-wise, just because I don't know, that's just the choreography I tend to do, I guess. So yes, but this I thought was perfect for the song. I thought it matched it amazingly. So yes, okay, we have finished all 3 rounds. So David, as our special guest, who is your ultimate winner?
The stress. We all go through it. The stress is real, man.
The ultimate winner. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes.
The Olympics of K-pop July.
Okay, for me, the winner has to be Kiss of Life, Sticky.
Okay, why?
Do you know what? That music video and just the one-takeness of it, the use of locations, the playfulness and the choreo and the spirit and the vocals, even though I was like, what's Sticky? I do appreciate the vocals. So it's all come together enough for me to be like, that's the one.
Okay. I will actually agree with you. I I almost chose NCT actually, because I will say after that first, like listening to it, I wasn't the most impressed, but after watching all the visuals and stuff, I like it a lot more now actually. But Kiss of Life has just grown on me so much, kind of with every release, that I think I'm actually a little biased towards them a little bit. And this song, even though it's not their best, I think it has a place like in their discography still. So yeah, I will also give it to Sticky.
Okay. You know, I was going to give it to NCT WISH because I actually like the song a lot. If Sticky wasn't here, I think I would have given it to them, because last time they were on our episode, I gave it to them because everything was just so freaking good. But yeah, so for me though, overall, the video being good, the song, the lyricism, the melody, the vocals being good, choreography, albeit not my favorite, did what it needed to do. People are like obsessed with it, so you know, I can understand the fanfare. So it's accessible in some kind of way. And it's actually good. So I'm gonna give it to Sticky. Stickity, stick.
Okay.
Wins. Yeah.
There you go.
It's good.
All right, so Sticky wins for all three of us. That wraps up this pop-off for July 2024. David, thank you so much for joining us. Hope you had fun.
I had so much fun. Oh my God. Like, what am I going to do next? I'm going to go back to my show and I'm going to miss you guys.
We'll miss you.
We're going to have to do this again.
We will.
Yes, we
We're
will.
definitely going to need to have both you and Joel on as well. And maybe we should talk about, the Spice Girls or something Western too.
We should. We should.
But yes, you mentioned Joel, who we will be inviting very shortly to the next one. But you have a podcast called Right Back At You. So tell us more about it and plug it for our listeners.
Yes, so Right Back At You is a 2000s pop music podcast. It's hosted by me and my friend Joel. We, every episode, celebrate a 2000s artist and their album. And, it's often, we do the divas like Mariah and, Jessica Simpson, but sometimes it's the more under-celebrated British acts.
Right.
We've done Rachel Stevens, Samantha Mumba, but we also love Girls Aloud and Sugar Babes and Steps. So there's plenty to dive into there. We always say we take pop music seriously, but it's like we have a laugh and, we think critically, but at the same time, it's like we also want to give these artists their flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Love that.
And it's one of my favorite shows. So definitely go check it out if you haven't.
Thanks.
Yes.
Okay, so definitely go check them out. Available on all podcast platforms, and we are also available on all podcast platforms.
Yeah.
Make sure to comment, DM us at CCTV Pops. Tell us what you think of this episode, what you want us to talk about next month. And you can join us on Patreon because we have some really fun episodes coming up and more guests coming up too. So until next time, that's Chantel and David.
That's Chris.
And we're signing off from CCTV, the Nonstop Pop Show.